One simple trick to overcome your biggest fear. We all have fear, and some fear is good. Fear is what keeps you from running into traffic or touching a hot stove and getting burned. Fear helps to keep you safe. It's one of the functions of our subconscious mind. But some fear just keeps us small. It keeps us from taking chances on things that could bring us lots of abundance or love or whatever you want in your life. That's the kind of fear that we need to learn how to transform. So fear ends up being something that fuels you instead of something that rules you. So if that sounds good to you, I do want you to get a pen, some paper to take notes today, because we are going to hit it. We're going to hit it fast and we're going to hit it hard, and we're going to hit it in just a second. But before we get there, I'd like you to check and see if you're a subscriber here, because we're dropping videos like this all the time. Hit the subscribe button and go ahead and click that little bell. That gives you notifications when you log on here, and it puts us in your feed, so you'll see when we drop a new video. And if you like this topic, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I'll be right back.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
Fear has many forms in all of our lives. In my life, I used to be afraid to do just about anything. I grew up with a very judgmental family. They were always picking apart choices and statements, everything that they could do, they were picking it apart later. So I was just scared to make any move because I knew I was going to be criticized or punished. And that carried into my adult life. I lived so many years just fearful of what other people thought that it kept me small. It kept me from starting my business, though clearly here we are. I got over it. And today I'm going to give you the one simple trick that helped me to kick that kind of fear to the curb. Fear comes up in many different ways, whether you call it anxiety or stress or fear, terror, procrastination can be a symptom of fear, regardless of what shape it takes in your life, regardless of what you call it. You want fear to be your friend, which kind of sounds weird because who loves fear? Well, I do. Now I use my fear to propel me in the direction of my goals. And this one simple trick that I'm teaching you today is going to help you to do that exact same thing. So I want you to get a pen or a pencil, sheet of paper, something to take notes with, or most of you guys watch on your phones. If you don't have something that you can write with, or you're holding your phone so you can't do that, just open up the comment section and start taking notes with your thumbs, because that's what it's here for. And if you do hit that thumbs up button, this will be in your liked videos, so you can come back and you can find your notes whenever you want. Okay, so when you're experiencing fear, first of all, we need to know how to identify it. So the best simple rule of thumb is anytime you want to accomplish something, but any number of obstacles, reasons, excuses keep you from getting there. I want to earn $1 million. I want to find love. I want to get a new job. I want to start my own business. I want to launch a YouTube channel. I want to do public speaking. Any of these things. I want to have kids. Anytime you have any of these goals, big or small, I want to be healthy. I want to lose weight. I consider those pretty small because I consider those easy. But for you, they might not be. So anytime we have a goal and something keeps getting in our way, there is a fear underneath it. A lot of times when I work with folks who want to lose weight, that's a great example. In coming up in a few weeks, or actually a couple months, we have a Mindset Monday video dropping about mindset for weight loss. So if that's you, make sure that you have those notifications turned on so you find out, so that we're in your feed when that drops. But let's just use that as an example. When people come to me and they're like, I ask them what their goals are, and weight loss is one of their goals, we'll talk about their history, their experience with food, the culture with food, nutrition, exercise, hydration, sleep, everything. We'll talk about all of those bodily habits and tendencies. And we soon uncover that many people who have a hard time losing weight, shedding those pounds so that they can have the physique that makes them, that they believe would make them feel more comfortable or happier. Many times there is some sort of non-nutrition, non-exercise reason hidden way back in their childhood, their teenage years, something like that. And they are subconsciously sabotaging themselves. So we have to go back and determine what that fear is. So I'm going to give you a little exercise, and then I'm going to tell you that one thing. And actually, I've already said it, but I'll go ahead and I'll reiterate it in a moment for when you're taking notes. I want you just to write down every single little thing that you're afraid of. And some of them can be good, some of them can be bad. Don't judge. Fear is fear. Just write it down here. Are you afraid to touch a hot stove? Write that down. Are you afraid to run into heavy traffic? Great. Write that down. Write down all your fears. Heights, public speaking, talking to people of the opposite gender, talking to people of the same gender, speaking with elders, dealing with children. Some people are just terrified of these little people. Not me, but fear of animals. I have a very good friend who's terrified of dogs, and I'm like, but they're great. And she has not yet allowed me to help her get over that fear, but I hope someday she will. So I just want you to write down all of them. And and I hope you're doing this right now. And as soon as you've got a good list going, and this may not be all of them, but you can always either pause me and continue, or you can come back. You can do this on your own later, because I'm going to tell you the whole exercise. I want you really to go and then become a judge of your fear. Just start judging it. Is this a good fear or a bad fear? And the real question is, does this fear actually keep me safe? So fear of putting your hand on a hot stove or putting your hand into a fire, sure, that's a healthy fear of, that keeps you in a state of physical safety. But some of the other fears don't actually keep you safe. Public speaking is a huge one. And I do coach a lot of people who want to overcome that. So that's why that example's come up a couple times today already. That's not a healthy fear. Getting up on a stage in front of people, or getting onto a camera in front of people on Zoom or whatever. I mean, I even have people who first come to me and they won't even turn on their cameras when it's just the two of us. I just can't. There's fear of being seen, a fear of being known. It's not a healthy fear, because you're here so that you can be seen and known and share your talents. So just go down and judge, healthy, not healthy. And then that will help you discern where you need to dive in. Okay, as I promised, the one simple trick to start overcoming your fear is to actually name it. Let's say that you've got a lot of health issues going on. You go to your medical doctor. The doctor writes down all your symptoms, which is what you just did. The doctor writes down all your symptoms and then kind of puts them all together and thinks, what is going on with a person that's got this and this and that and that and that and that? What is going on with them? Oh, I'm going to diagnose you with this thing. You have a diagnosis before you have a plan to overcome whatever the ailment is. I call it naming the monster. When kids are little, if they're scared of a monster under the bed, I love to name him like something silly. The other day I was talking with a client and I was like, name it something silly like Clyde. And then she was like, oh, my dog's name is Clyde. And I knew that. I don't know why I said the name Clyde, but I just think that's kind of a funny name. It's a great name for a dog. It's a fine name for a person, whatever. I just think that it's like a fun name. You can name the monster under the bed anything that you want. Name him Squeaky. Name him Tiny. Name him Herman. Whatever you want to name him. But when you name the monster under the bed, he's not quite as scary because there's something tangible attached to it. So naming your fear, figuring out what that fear is the very first step. And just by doing that, it's really, really easy to figure this out by journaling to yourself. Just have a conversation with yourself utilizing a pen. When you journal it down, you're rereading it at the same time, so your subconscious mind can digest it in a different way. And it's a lot healthier for you, and you can determine what that is. So your number one simple trick, write a couple letters to yourself about this and you've got it figured out. That's pretty simple, right? That's step number one. It'll help you get over any fear that you have. It's helped me get over literally fear of public speaking. I used to be so terrified. I grew up in the theater. I could go out on a stage in front of other people as a different character, but when I got up as myself, I was terrified. Sweaty palms, sweaty bottom of the feet, sweaty everything. Shaky voice, very timid, sick feeling stomach. It was horrible. The fear got tracked back to something that happened when I was in 5th grade. And once I realized that and I named it, I was like, oh, I get it. I understand why this thing happened at this time. And then all of a sudden I could identify that energy. I could put it where it belonged back in 5th grade. That was a long time ago. I could put it back there. And then it helped me to reason it out. And now I can get up in front of thousands like it's nobody's business. And so can you with whatever fear you have. I hope that this has served you well. If it has, make sure that you did hit that thumbs up button and check to make sure that you subscribed. And if you didn't, go ahead, click the subscribe button and the bell so you'll learn when the next time is that we drop a video to help you live a happier and more successful life.